Well, hello, everybody.
Again for a while.
Yeah, we've missed you. We've been in Hawaii on vacation for the last month.
Do I need to do my dance? Makahula.
Hi, welcome back to what's this thing called? The Wheels on the Bus podcast.
Okay.
We missed
It
you,
hasn't
but
been that long.
hopefully we're going to get back on track. Do you have anything before we get started, Patrick? I'm Kara, by the way.
Well, yes. I mean, as far as why we've been gone.
Driveline or...
Oh, there's always some Driveline stuff. I'm trying not to curse as I think as many complaints as I have about the teachers having to help 8th graders in and out of a car, which I think is beyond ludicrous. Let's talk about the kids themselves and how lazy these kids are getting.
Okay, this is quick because this is
That's
just
fine. It's quick. These kids are lazy.
All right,
okay,
we're done.
I let our daughter off today.
Yeah.
I didn't even stop the truck. We were still rolling. The door opens.
She
She
knows.
hops out.
Oh, our kids know.
Whereas in front,
Yeah.
kid had to wait for the teacher to come around, open his door, and then stand there while he gets his backpack on, and then turns around and goes to the back door to pull out his baseball backpack. So
Yeah.
you got an athlete has to wait for a teacher to open the door to let him out.
So it's funny. I've seen some videos of schools, and like at the beginning of Driveline, there's a big sign that says, tell your kids bye. And then, 20 yards forward, there's another sign that says unbuckle. And then 20 more yards, it says get everything in your hands. And then at Driveline, it's like get out, bye.
What, do they tell them to breathe? Do they tell them to blink their eyes too? They're freaking, this is unbelievable. If it helps, it helps. This society has become just a bunch of weenies that have to be watched over by, helicopter parents. And it's like, no, send them out. They're going to live or they're not. But you can't watch every last second of them. If you don't give them a chance to excel, then why would they ever try?
Well, speaking of excelling and road signs every 20 yards, are you ready for standardized testing?
Shh.
Speaking of having to lay out every single thing and test the whole year. Anyways, we're going to get to that because today the Wheels on the Bus go to the testing closet.
Whoopee.
All right, so if you don't know what a testing closet is, this is a room in the school where all the standardized testing materials are stored in a locked closet inside tons of see-through tubs with all the information for every single class that's taking a standardized test, who the teacher is. You got to have all your specific paperwork in there, all the instructions locked up. There's only one person who has the key. That's the principal.
Are there number 2 pencils available?
You don't use pencils anymore, dum-dum. It's all on computer.
Oh, God. Seriously? You're supposed to have number 2 pencils, and you got to circle in the bubble. That's the old-fashioned Scantrons.
Yeah, well, for those of us that are a little older, that was the thing. Now it's all on the computer. And we'll get to the problems with that later. But so there you go, a testing closet. So when testing day comes, the principal arrives there super early in the morning and gets everything out of the testing closet and goes to a room to start passing things out. And teachers have to come in and sign for their bucket and make sure everything's in their bucket and something's missing.
Wait. If it's all on a computer, what are they getting?
The teachers?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you have a folder with all the instructions that you have to read word for word.
Why don't they read it off a computer?
To the students. Then it has whatever test you're taking has a specific number. So you have to put that number big on the board. So when it's time for the kids to log in, they have to input that number into the computer. And then it has bathroom passes and it has your little sticker for outside your door that says, shh, testing in progress. And it has a log because every time somebody comes into your room during a standardized test, you have to write down, or they have to write down who they were, what time they were in, what time they left. So you have all these logs, and you have a seating chart. You have to fill out a seating chart of where every student is sitting in that class. It's full of stuff.
Now,
Nothing's
this
fun.
happens
Oh,
for like first graders and
no, third graders and up.
third graders and up. So third
It's
graders,
also
you have to know where they're
the-
sitting when they took the
Yeah,
test.
and the bucket is
God.
also to collect anybody's cell phones, including the teachers.
Which shouldn't
Every
be an
cell
issue
phone.
because they're banned from the classroom now.
Yeah, well. Mhm. So anyway, so that's what's in your testing bucket. Fun times. And for those of you that have already started testing in the state of Texas, we salute you.
No, that's garbage.
Should be a Budweiser. Wouldn't it, Budweiser?
Real men are
We-
genius.
Yeah. We salute you.
No, what? Oh my God.
Teachers that are administering the STAR
That's-
test.
No, okay, let's stop that now before it goes further. If you want to call it the old days, fine. In the old days, we had to take the Iowa Test of Basic Skills, which
You did.
was like you took it in third grade and you took it again in 7th or 8th grade, and that was it. And there was no lead up to it. It was just a, hey, where do you stand on reading and math, compared with the rest of the country? And you would get your results 6 weeks later. It's like, hey, I'm in the 92nd percentile. Like, and that's it. Nobody cared.
Well, in Texas, on the other hand,
You waste months and months studying for the
Mhm.
same test year after year after year.
it's not the same. No. When I was a kid, it was the TAAS, TAAS, and then it changed to the TASP, or it was flip flop, like one of
And the
those.
tax,
And the tax.
which is, I think that's the
That's
one
the
you had to take.
college.
No, that's the one you had to take to graduate. You had to officially pass the test to graduate.
So see, the test has changed. Totally.
It's stupid. It's so stupid.
It
What's the
is
point of
stupid.
having teachers?
How are y'all doing out there with starting test taking if you're in a test taking grade? Oh, and if you're not in a test taking grade, but you're on a campus with a test taking grade, your lives are screwed too. So we salute you having to keep your kids in the classroom for 8 hours a day.
Okay, just so you know, you're saluting with the left hand now.
I know.
No,
But to them, it's the correct one.
no, it's not. It's still the wrong hand. You don't learn to salute properly.
Okay. So yeah, so what do you want to know about testing?
Why? Why do we do it?
Yeah, that's
Is there
a good
any
question.
pushback from teachers? Is there any pushback from parents? I mean, have any of you talked with the school board about it? Anybody talked with the legislators about it and saying, look, I understand, the you need to know kind of where the kids are at, but wasting all this time
Mhm.
studying up for this one specific test. And then here's the part that I have been told, that after you finish the test at the end of the year, nobody does anything else. Like you spend the last 3 weeks farting around doing nothing.
Well, the test used to be like beginning mid-May. Like mid-May, that was the end of testing. Now it's starting in April because they want to hopefully get the results.
Which
back.
still leaves you with a month of doing nothing.
It does. And speaking of, when you're done with the test, the students, when they're done with the test in the classroom, whether it takes you 30 minutes or it takes you 4 hours, you're stuck in that classroom and you can open a book or you can put your head on your desk and read or sleep.
Well, that I don't care about. That the kids suffer. Who cares?
So you're in there for 3.5 hours. What's the point of
they
even
should have
being
gone
there?
back over their test. Remember that? You always
Oh,
double check your answers. You got to
yeah.
go back and double check your answers.
Nobody
Fully
wants-
erase the bubble.
Nobody does that.
I know.
There's no more erasing. But there has been, so you ask, has anybody fought this? So in Texas, it is trying to go through the legislature to get the STAR test banned, but replace it with, 2 to 3 tests throughout the year. So like beginning, middle, end, or middle, end, to see what the students have learned. So that would be a whole lot better
Well,
because you should see
Yes.
progress. You should see growth. You shouldn't have one test at the end and you don't even get your results until the summer or maybe August, September. And you're like, oh, congratulations, school. Now you're rated B. Now you're rated A. We should be focused on the students and what they know. And if we need to adjust our learning or our teaching through that, it shouldn't be one test to rule them all.
Well, I think what we did in the old days was you had tests throughout your learning deal, and then you had your final exam.
Yeah.
For this semester. And the
And
final
they
exam was
still-
supposed to have everything.
But they still do.
Well, then why do
They
you need to have these
still-
other tests? Okay, maybe it's a way to expose bad teachers. I don't know. All I know is if you're testing and testing and testing and testing, then you're not learning.
And here, exposing bad teachers. If you do anything wrong from the things in your testing bucket and you get caught or cheating, or you say something that's not in the script, you could lose your teaching license because you said something that wasn't in the script. Like, how ridiculous is that?
If anybody has questions about answer number one,
You're not
for the
supposed
question
to.
number one, all I can say is it's a big problem. Get it?
So
big.
as you're walking around monitoring the students on their computers taking the test, you're not supposed to look at the test. You're not supposed to read any portion of it. You're not supposed to like look over somebody's shoulders. All you're doing is walking around, making sure everybody is still in the same seat that you wrote down in your seating chart.
Then why walk around? If you're just there monitoring,
Because you're
that they're
making
getting up
sure
and down out
that
of
they're
a
not on
seat.
YouTube or playing games. That
But you just said you're
on
not
the-
supposed to look at them.
You're not supposed to like read it. You're supposed to just quickly glance and make sure that they're on the test page. But okay, so those poor teachers having to sit. No, you can't sit. Those poor teachers having to stand and walk around and monitor students for up to 4 hours. Or the poor people that have to go and walk the hallways and monitor bathrooms or hallways to make sure that they're quiet, like the PE teachers or the specials teachers, computer, music, the IAs. You're doing absolutely nothing for up to 4 hours of your day. It is a waste of time for everybody.
It just makes me angry.
It does.
And I think
You're
our
the one that
daughters
wanted this topic.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
I did not. I wanted
Jeez.
discipline. I was talking about discipline
We've
and the
already
lack
done discipline.
thereof.
Okay, well, let's get back to problems of the STAR test on the computer. Tell me, Patrick, what do you think the number one problem would be of an entire state taking an assessment on a computer could be on the same day?
Well, I would say that the website has gone down. So you're having internet connectivity issues. You've got kids that show up that didn't charge their computers all the time. Kids that left their computer today. Oh, sorry. Let's see.
I like all those reasons, but the correct answer is nothing. Absolutely nothing could go wrong by everybody in the entire state testing on the same test on the same day.
I didn't realize you were asking a rhetorical question.
So I've gotten emails, as I know a lot of you have. If you're in a non-testing grade, you get this email at the beginning of the day, or maybe the day before, or both, that says, hey, today's a STAR testing day. Please don't get on your computer. Please don't use the Wi-Fi. We need every bit of Wi-Fi that we can. So all the rest of the poor people can't even get on their computers.
So it's not only did we force everybody onto these stupid computers to do all their lessons, now we're taking the one thing that we're teaching them on away because we don't have enough juice to provide for all the. Okay.
Yeah. Now, I don't think this has ever happened to me while I was on a computerized campus because that's been fairly new. We haven't had like a complete Wi-Fi shutdown on a testing day. But you know there it's been there or it's going to happen. Like, how can it not, right? Then what do you do?
Well, yeah. Well, think about if you get a power loss due to a storm, which we've had storms here a lot. That could easily, screw up everything.
It's like an anomaly on the testing day. So then the poor principal has to write up, all this every little thing that happened and turn it into the state, and they probably have to get a waiver and blah blah blah. Take forever.
See, but the funny thing about this is the same problem that's happened for decades. That hasn't gone away. Because I remember when I was at Texas A&M up in the library, the 6th floor of the library had all the computers. And everybody would go up there because this is before people had computers all over the place. And it never failed. Suddenly you just hear over the announcement, it's like, the system is going down. You have 30 seconds to save everything.
Save.
And everybody reaching in to grab the old diskettes to put it. There's like the 3.5 inch it wouldn't go in, and everybody's going, boom, system collapses, and there'd be 10, 15 people just going like, no, you son of a, and start screaming and yelling. And it was always humorous to me because I was one of the very few people that had his own computer, so I didn't have to deal with that. I was up there watching movies.
But imagine you're sitting there, you've been taking a test for 2 hours, you still have, and
it goes
20
down.
questions to go, and
yeah, I guess if they have some sort of backup that logs it on live term, maybe it saves it and you can start back where you were. But if you lose the whole thing, now not only do the people that are taking the test have all their day wasted, everybody else that had to sit there and not get on their stuff is wasted.
Well, and the test is compromised because some kids have answered some questions and some kids haven't got. That's the other thing. Like when you're out walking the hallways and hallway monitors and stuff, there's no talking. It's like one person in the bathroom at a time. So there's a big long line of kids waiting for the bathroom. You can't talk about the test. After the test is done, you can't talk about the test.
Because third graders are notorious for going to the bathroom and discussing question number 12.
But yeah, so if something happens and no internet, no electricity, the test is compromised. I wonder what would happen if you're a principal or what might happen. Let us know.
It's so stupid. I mean, honestly, I know it sounds sarcastic and whatnot, but when you're talking about these kids and you said starting in third grade.
Yep.
Third graders aren't talking about test questions. Neither are eighth graders. No, nobody's talking about test questions.
Or they're like, what'd you put down for number 17?
And 90% of them would be like, what was 17? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't get that far. I just put down C for everything.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's idiotic. Maybe with high school seniors or juniors, if you're worried about them compromising college entrance stuff like SATs, okay, I can kind of get it. Nobody else cares.
But you remember.
Nobody cares.
So, okay. So when I took my teacher certification tests, you go in, it's all secure too, but that was, and I'm sure it's still like this, you put your driver's license on your table where you're sitting, so they know that that's the person that's taking the test, and it has to stay out the whole time you take your test. And if you get up to go to the bathroom, your driver's license has to stay right there on the table. So yeah, like they do crazy stuff.
Yes, but that makes sense for a professional examination. It makes sense for even college courses, if that's the way you wanted to look at it. Third graders, no. I'm sorry. Anytime you still have to give people potty breaks, it's like, oh, they don't need to have the friggin' ID out.
But it's just so complicated, these dumb tests. So,
well, yeah.
No, they're not
for
really.
No reason.
Yeah, they're not needed. You should have a growth test, a couple times throughout the year, which hopefully Texas will move to. And then you still have your finals and stuff in high school.
Or maybe trust teachers to actually do their damn job.
Oh, what?
I know it's a novel concept.
It is.
I mean,
I would still be teaching if they just left us alone and let us do our job.
Yeah, you know what I would actually be okay with is if they took random teachers to administer a test in your class, right? Swap everybody around. You administer that way. You don't know the kids. You can't fudge the numbers. You don't even know which class or which teacher is administering.
They do that for some tests, not for STAR.
Yeah, but imagine if they brought them from even a whole different school. Like this school, you guys go to that one. This school goes to that one. Just the teachers.
Yeah.
Administer the test.
Yeah.
That way, you don't know who you're judging and who you're not. You're just there to look, and it'll be clean and arbitrary, and you can go, this class is doing great, or this teacher's obviously got her head up.
So I'm like 50-50 on that, because in one of the districts before, for kindergartners, when we would do the big reading tests, we would switch classrooms. Like me and my partner teacher would switch rooms, and we would test each other's kids for that reason, so that you're not fudging numbers.
Yeah, but even that, that's your buddy. and she's coming over, and for the most
Yeah,
part,
it's a little different.
Yeah.
But as a coach, we did that the last couple of years. They swapped. They would have like one coach from each campus swap and go to another campus, and it was interesting. But some tests are not standardized and scripted, so you and I switch testing. Well, you might say something completely different than what I say, and
yeah,
there are discrepancies.
there
So that's why I'm kind of like 50-50. Like,
Yeah, but
it could work.
It's got to be better than what we got.
Yeah. Well,
'Cause-
we have to stop standardizing these tests.
well, no,
and-
I
well, not
don't have a
standardizing
problem with
tests.
standardized.
I'm sorry. Go back. We just need to stop having this one test at the end of the year.
Well, yeah,
to see what
that's
kids
dumb.
know.
No. And honestly, what's the point at the end of the year if you go, oh, look, Billy failed. He's a dummy.
Mhm.
All right, have a nice summer. It doesn't do you any good. Maybe you take it in December and you go, oh, Billy's failing. We need to work on his English or his math or his whatever.
Well, and that's something too. You, as a student, you can pass all your classes, and you fail the STAR test, you still go on to the next grade. All that does is show a lower score for your school. You don't have to pass the STAR test to go to the next grade.
Then what's the point?
Exactly. Parents can contend it and be like, nope, I want him to move on. You can't hold my kid back. And they just move
That's
on.
a whole other issue.
Mhm.
There's so many kids that should have been held back twice, 3 times, whatever it needs.
Okay.
Hey, I went to school with a bunch, well, not a bunch, but you knew the kids that were getting held back and when they got held back. And, when you're in 8th grade and you're driving to school,
Mhm.
it's, those guys had full mustaches and the whole works.
So what I want to know from some of you, what are your grading periods? I was always on 6-week grading periods. I have a sister in California. They're on semesters. You get 2 semesters. That's your grades. I know some are on 9 weeks. Like,
I was always on 9
what
weeks.
are you on? What do you like? I hated 6 weeks because in a kindergarten class, you were testing all the time. You spent 3 weeks trying to test each kid one-on-one. So you really only had about 3 weeks to teach the subject matter before you started testing it.
Well, testing kindergartners in the first place is dumb.
Yes.
Okay, if you want to evaluate their abilities, the teacher should be able to be like, look, this is the gold group and this is the silver group and no, this is the brown group. They're not doing so good. But the fact is in kindergarten, that's really as far as it should go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these kids are doing really good. These kids are doing very well enough, and we got to work on these.
But you still have to know what they know. How are you going to find out what they know?
You can. Well, as a teacher, you tell me you can't walk around the classroom?
Of course
with those
I can.
Kids. You only there's 20 of them. It's not hard to do.
Yeah.
You walk around. It's like, one guy's sticking jacks up his nose, and the other one is actually doing addition and subtraction. It's not.
But we did
hard.
a lot of ridiculous testing.
Yeah,
that took so much time away from everything.
I remember the complaints.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now, so since K through 2 doesn't have the STAR test, you do still have to choose one of the state offered standardized tests. So we used one. It was like a letter recognition. It was a fast repetition. How many letters could they name in under a minute? And then it was a word reading test, and then it was part of it was listening. So K through 2 still has, a standardized STAR test, and it was really a pain in the butt to administer, but it did give you some information. It wasn't
but
great.
Nothing more than you'd be able to identify on your own.
No,
with those kids in your classroom.
And it was the same thing. The first year that this big test came out, they gave us all substitutes for a day because you have to pull the kids out into the hallway one by one. Because it has to be quiet and they have to be focused. Because again, they don't want to be taking a test with you while everybody's out playing and at their centers. So the next year, they were like, well, we can't afford the full day subs. We'll give everybody half day subs. So try to get your whole class done in half a day. Doesn't work. And then the next year, they were like, yeah, we can't afford subs at all. Just good luck. Pull them when you can. Have your partner teacher watch your class while you go on the hallway and test.
Yeah, but even then, like I said, I think as a kindergarten teacher, if you look at the base subjects you're supposed to be teaching, do you really need a test to do it? If you can, you're like,
No, I can sit down at a table
and all
and
right, Jimmy, let's go.
1 minute I can have a kid do something. Okay, go, bye, you're done.
Exactly. You don't need it, and
I don't
that's
have
the
to have
part that
all
drives
of
me
these
nuts.
components of a test to be completed.
Yeah, just it's one of those really stupid things that
Mhm.
they're doing. Kindergarten is for training kids on how to be in
Mhm.
school. It's not about did they
Sometimes first grade
memorize the
is too.
Constitution of the United States? Did they, they know how to do quadratic equations yet? It's like, no, dude, they want to go outside and have nap time.
Yeah.
It's like, just back off.
Mhm.
That's the part that I hate.
Well, I hate that we have so much red tape that teachers are quitting left and right because they're not letting us
I
teach
think
anymore.
this a lot of these things are going to change in the coming years because every state out there is showing a major teacher shortage.
Well, and then professionals who have, a degree from college, they don't have a job for whatever reason. They want to get their teaching certificate while they're, they get hired on
So
because
they
they
get back to real work.
real work. So they're working on their teaching certificate.
Yeah.
So you have people that have never been in a classroom before trying to teach children just because they want an easy job, and then you don't have quality educators teaching these kids.
But part of that, like
then
on
they
the
leave.
younger kids, I understand. The younger kids, that's a legitimate beef. Older kids, not so much. But the problem you're running into to me on the older kids is going back to what I wanted to do, which is discipline.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
the
they don't
fact that
take the
these kids
classroom
are
management skills.
yeah, the fact that these kids are running the show now instead of the
parents,
teachers,
yeah.
instead of the administration. The administration's running scared from lawsuits from everybody about everything.
Yeah.
Where back in the day, if you gave a teacher lip, man, they smacked the crap out of you, and he's like, "Ooh, better not do it to that guy."
Mhm.
It was the lessons were short, violent, and very well understood.
Yeah.
Of what it's like, that behavior will not be tolerated.
So, back to the STAR test and teachers not being certified. Even certified teachers, everybody on the campus has to go through a STAR training course for the professionals. So we have to sit through a presentation on how to administer the STAR test, which is basically what I just told you. Read from the script, don't deviate from the script, don't look at people. But you're sitting through this however many hours long on a PD day, how to give the STAR test. And you don't have to be a certified teacher to administer the STAR test. They prefer it to be that way. But, teachers always call in sick or they get sick on STAR date. So you're scrambling to find somebody to put in the classroom. So guess what? The PE coach is now giving the STAR test, or the music teacher is now giving the STAR test.
Which
That's why
matter.
Everybody has to go through the fun STAR test training slideshow.
Do not taunt STAR test.
Well, hopefully it'll be gone in a few years. So
STAR test will accelerate to unsafe speeds.
Yeah.
Now, wasting time on a standardized test, and then really having the test be totally reflective on your funding, on how your school is done, their grades, the whole works, and it takes away the importance of the rest of the education, and that's the big beat.
Yep.
Or big bitch I've got is, if you look, if everybody's done with STAR testing today or tomorrow or next week, whenever it is, and the kids aren't required to learn anything else, and the teachers aren't required to teach anything else.
Well, you are required.
Well, but they don't.
They don't.
They sit around
and practice.
It's like, okay, what are we going to do
turn
today?
In textbooks. Let's have a party.
We're going to watch another video. It's like, great.
Field trip. Oh, lots of field trips after the STAR test.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
We, we used to, you had to go all the way up to the last deal because we didn't take our final exams until the final, the day before the last day was like your final exams. The last day you turn in your books. And that was it. So the last day was the only day you got to fart around. Yeah. Everything else, you were actually, learning, studying, testing, And I know it's funny that we're ragging on testing, but your final exam was, an actual reflective grade a reflective test for your grade.
Yeah.
And so you had to know it.
Our son is in 10th grade, and he just took, as what he said, I haven't checked on it, but he was like, this is my last STAR test ever. I was like, okay, I hope so.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he still has to take his finals in May when it's time. So again, it's a waste of time. Our daughter still has a couple of STAR tests left to go, I think, next week. And she was like, do I have to go back? Can you just unenroll me after my STAR test? Because we don't do anything. It's pointless to go to school. And I was like, that's a great point. But no, I'm not going to unenroll you.
Yeah.
She also asked if we could pick her up early after she was done with the STAR test. And I was like, no, because parents get emails saying, do not schedule doctor's appointments. These are your STAR test days. Do not pick up your kids early. Do not bring your kids lunch. There could be no distractions on campus. It's like a lockdown for taking a test.
For taking a stupid standardized
but even
test.
the kids know that it's just a waste of time. Do your best, though.
If they made it a competition and really wanted these kids to do well, offer them candy. Seriously, whoever does the best on this gets this, and just have breakdown of all the candy. Kids, that's what you go for.
Except you don't know the scores until the summertime or later, so you don't even know. So that won't work.
Well, no, because you just said they're taking it in April so they can get the grades before summer. So there you go.
I don't know when the results come out. Probably not until summertime, I would bet.
Okay.
Because it's really hard to grade a computerized test
As a parent,
with multiple choice questions.
As a parent, do you know what our kids' STAR tests are from previous years?
Like their scores?
Yeah.
They're all mastered. So it's
I don't know what that means, because I don't know, because I don't care.
Yeah. So I know because I'm a teacher too. So it's mastered, on level, and below level.
So all of this is for 3 broad categories that
3.
don't really tell you much of anything.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, the more kids that master the test, then the better score your school is.
See, but like the Iowa test, you're in 4th grade. You're supposed to be reading in 4th grade, and they'll come back. It's like, student is reading at 8th grade level, or student is at 7th grade level at math. He's at the 94th percentile, or students at 2nd grade level needs to be
it's masters meets below.
That's what a waste.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you nothing. It's like he meets what? Okay, great. He meets expectations. What are those expectations?
The 3rd grade STAR test expectations.
I want to know how he's doing compared with everybody else.
Well, that's too bad because you can't. That's confidential. Didn't you read your STAR manual and go through the 4-hour training?
I could care less about that. I want to know how.
Did you do your HIPAA?
If you say he's mastered, but everybody's mastered, then obviously everything's too easy. But if you come back and you say, look, he's in the 92nd percentile as compared with everybody else in the country, it's like that I can see now as a ratio. Now he's doing well. If he's at 50, he's average. Okay, he's right in the middle. Not a problem. Would I want him to do better? Yes, I do. But if he's 50, but at least I know when you just come back with these generous meats. Okay, that tells you nothing.
I don't like testing. I'm glad I'm done with testing. I'm glad I don't have to sit in my room all day with a bunch of kindergartners because we can't go anywhere because you can't walk by a classroom that's testing. I'm just glad I'm done with it. And I just get to poke fun at it. And sorry, y'all. One day, STAR test will go away.
Or you two will quit. One or the other. I don't know.
Speaking of, it's been great to be back on with you, but I think it's time for us to quit for the day.
Yes. The clock on the wall has gone blank.
Let us know what you want to talk about next, or tell us how you feel about the STAR test, whether you're a student or a parent or somebody in school. Talk to us.
Otherwise, it's all about discipline.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll be back on track with our weekly podcasts. Love y'all. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.